Hello, the purpose of this video is to explain how to customize your dimension style. So we're going to add dimension on our floor plan, but before we do that, we know that we imported this title block and which includes dimensions from our elevation sections. So let's go ahead and open that elevation section, which is I believe it's called, in my case, it's called Base 11 Pro. And I created a layout sheet called 11 section, and this is what it is. And you can see I have dimensions here. So by default, the dimension style is called standard, and we change some of it by changing the arrow style into a slash or a tick compared to a normal arrow. So if you want to customize this dimension style, we do have to first set a font that we want to use. So to set a font, we know that the command would be style. So type style, press enter. And these are the style loaded into the sheets. I know that I wanted to use um, architects. Okay. And architects is a font that's supposed to be in the uh, support files folder. So let me show you first. I'm going to close it. I'm going to type in options, and the support file folders for fonts are in this folder here: program files, Autodesk, AutoCAD 2023, and fonts. So if I go to my computer and I go to program files, Autodesk, AutoCAD 2023, fonts, I should see architects.shx. So this is the font that I wanted to use. So now I'm ready to use that. So I have to type in style first, and we are going to create a new one because architects is not here yet. So I'm going to do a new, and then I'm going to call it ARCH, and I'm going to put in 75 because I wanted to adjust the width factor to 75%. So I'm going to click OK, and there's ARCH 75, and then I wanted to adjust this to 0.75, and I wanted to change this font into architect. So you have to find it here. I do believe it's going to be um, on top here, I believe. No, sometimes they do not set it to, there you go, they're not set to alphabetical order. So architects txt, and that's what's going to look like. The width factor is 0.75. I'm going to click apply and then close. So I'm going to test that. I'm going to click on text, single line text. I'm going to select here, and then I'm going to specify just a 1/8. I'm going to accept that, and then I'm going to simply 0.20. Okay, up, and then I wanted 1/8, enter, and then 120, and I'm gonna test it. So architects, okay, capital letters ARCHITXT. Oh, looks like it was loaded. Okay, so I'm gonna erase that. So now I wanted my dimensions to use that font. So I'm gonna do a dim style. So the command to set a style for dimensions is dim style. There's annotative and standard. Okay, I want to create a new one, and then I'm going to call this a ARCH, and then same name, 75. And I'm going to start with standard. Okay, and I'm going to continue. And then in standard, on my lines, I want it to be by block. Extend beyond ticks. Do I want any extra line? So that extra line goes like extending here. Sometimes you want that. Okay, so if you want that to be like 1/16, then you go ahead and type 1/16, and you'll see that there's going to be a small line here. If I make that 1 inch, just exaggerate, okay, you're going to see that there's a strong line here on each end. So that's what the extend beyond tick looks like. So I'm just going to make it 1/16. Okay, enter. Okay. If you want it 1/8, then you can also go right ahead. That's the style that you want. I don't want to suppress any dimensions, and the color will be by block. So that means that whatever layer I'm on, or whatever object, or if it's a block layer, then it will accept that. Extend beyond dim lines. We're going to just extend 23. I could also make that 1/8. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to just do 1/8 of an inch. Press enter. Okay, there you go. And then offset from origin. That's fine. 1/16 is fine. I don't want to suppress any extension lines. Extension lines are these small lines that appears on the side. Okay, extension lines. I'm going to go to symbols and arrows. As you know, I'm using a tick, and the arrow size is 1/8. So that's 1/8 of a tick. For center mark, yeah, we just leave it like that. Okay. And then for the text, I don't want the text out standard. I want this to be that new style that I created, ARCH75. There you go. Text height is 1/8. That's, and I want it the vertical to be above and horizontal to be centered. And I want my text to be aligned with the dimension line. Okay. So I want my text to go like this over here. I don't want my 40-inch to go this way. Okay. And I want my text to be, that's horizontal, must be centered, and if it's vertical, it must be above. So vertical must be above. Okay. And then fit, well, normally we just accept everything. Okay. The primary units is a concern because we don't want it decimal. We want it to be architectural. And the precision is 0.116. That's fine. Okay. But sometimes I change that. And unless I want it to be a big scale, I just want it to be zero um, um, precision. So that means I don't see any 1/2. Now, if you want to, you can, then you have to override it. Okay. If you want it 1/16, then you can, but you have to override it. All right. Fraction format is horizontal. Uh, you can have it diagonal. Okay, like that if you want it. Okay, or you can just horizontal. So it doesn't matter. That one doesn't matter to us. Round of 0 inches, prefix and suffix, what goes before and what goes after. Okay, and then I guess we need to now look at if there's any suppressions, if we want to suppress any zeros. Okay, angulars are always decimal. Zero suppression. Do you want to suppress 0 feet? No, we want to see 0 feet. Do you want to suppress 0 inches? No, you want to see 0 inches. So that if it's 14 feet, then it's 14 zero, not 14 only. Okay, so that's important. Okay. Alternate units, we typically don't touch this, and then tolerances, we typically don't touch this also. So just click OK, and then make sure that you click Arc 75, and then make sure that it's set as current. So click that. That's the style for dimension that you're going to use. Just click Set Current and click OK. Now let's test it. I'm going to click Linear here, and then we're going to click from this point to this point. Okay, and you can see it's 12 foot 2 3/4. All right. So we had this at 12 foot 2, so that means that we need to override this. But if I zoom in, this is a horizontal style of fractions. Okay. If I and you can change any dimension that you've created. You can click on it, and on your property style, you can change some of it. So if we try to find fractions over here, and it says horizontal, if I can change that into a diagonal, and that's what it's going to look like if it's diagonal. Okay, not stacked is going to look like that one, all horizontal. So depending on the style that you want, then you can change those fractions as well. We're going to leave it at um, horizontal. There you go. And then we can override that later if we want to. But basically, that's the style of dimension that we want. Okay. So all we're going to do now here is Let's just move this so we know that we have to erase it sometime later. What we're going to do is once we have one style defined, then we can go and match property this one and then click this and that one here. Okay, and then click the next one here and click the next one here. So all of them will now use that kind of font style. Okay, so we're going to do that to all our dimensions. Dimensions here and dimension here. And go over here, we have a dimension here, and dimension here, and dimension here, and we already have a dimension here too. Okay, here's another dimension, and then I believe that's it. Okay, here's 30. So click that. Make sure everything is the same style. Okay, so once we have that, then we can just save this. Now, we want this dimension style to be on our floor plan. The good thing about dimensions is once you have a dimension with this style, you can copy this dimension to another file and to immediately have that style here. So if I go to my preliminary sheets and I type in dim style, I only have two, the annotated one and the standard. Okay. Now if we go back to my base elevation section and I simply select this, right click, and then go to clipboard and I do a cut. This time just do a cut so it removes it there. Okay. And I go my preliminary sheets and I go right click and I go to clipboard and I do a paste. And paste it anywhere. This style, because I pasted it here, should now be part of dim style. So I type in dim style. Okay, and you can see now that there's ARCH75 here because it imported the style when you imported or when you place or inserted that dimension style. Okay, so simply close, and all we're going to do now is make sure that, oh, I'm going to type dim style again, make sure that my ARCH75 is set to current, and then click OK, and then we're going to begin dimensioning this. Okay, so hopefully you've taken a AutoCAD class where you're giving dimensions. So we're going to create a layer, and we're going to create a layer called dim. You can put it in a layer called pen 1 or pen 3 or whatever, but we're going to put it in a layer called dim. Okay, so we're going to click layer, we're going to put dim, and with capital letters dim, and I'm going to assign that a color of 1, 2, or 3, doesn't matter which style. Let's do a 1, just do a 1. Click OK, and then close that, change the layer to dim, and then begin putting dimensions. So linear, I simply select somewhere here is fine, up to here is fine, and then put something anywhere in the text here. One of the things that you might encounter is this one, um, and that's because your dim scale is not set properly. Okay, so 1/8 has a scale that is supposed to be 96. Okay, and you can always search for on the internet on that one. So you can type here what is your dim scale for 1/8 inch, um, and then it would say that for a 1/8 inch drawing you have to use a dim scale of 96. Okay, we did the math before here because this is 1/8 equals 1 foot, which is 1/8 equals 12 inches, and then so if you wanted to know what 1 equals going to be 8 times 12, which is 96. So we did the math on that one before, and you usually have this table of dim scales maybe available in your office, or you can do the math on that one too. So what we're going to do, we're going back here, is we're going to do a dim style again and make sure that the that we modify our dim scale factor on the primary units is set to 96. Right now it's just 1. Okay, so we're going to select apply to layout dimensions only, and then we're going to type in 96 here. I'm going to click OK, and then close. So now let's try that. Linear. Select this one, select that, and then put something in again. And then now it's too big. Now it's multiplying it by 96. Oh, um, by 96 times. But this one now has changed into 20 foot 7 because we just changed that. So we're gonna click that OK. We're gonna leave that this 20 foot 7, and then we are now um, going to continue our linear. Let's erase that first, and then let's do a linear again. So select from here to here, and it's 20 foot 7. If you want to continue, we simply we can press enter or space by stacking it. No, it didn't work. My shortcuts didn't work. Anyway, we can continue this dimension. Once you get dimension, we can simply click again that point and then click the same location. Okay. Sometimes you can stack, I mean, not stack them, but continue them by pressing enter. But in this case, we um, are not, uh, my shortcuts are not correctly working. So we're just going to do it manually. Okay. And then put that in the same spot. Okay. All right. There you go. Now you need an overall length here. So I'm going to do linear and then we're going to do an overall length. We can click in the same spot, here, but we have to drag it above. Okay. If you have something like this, what you wanted to do, press escape, is you wanted to click on it, and using the grip, um, you drag it away. Whoop. I'm gonna turn off my snap here. I don't want that, and I don't want my snap. Just that one. Okay. We just click on this one, and then we just click on maybe that one. Then let's move it here. There you go. Okay, you want to clear any conflicts with any grid lines. Okay. Now remember that this is a viewport, and usually viewports are hidden, so we just uh, turn the viewports off. There you go. So you now have an overall dimension and a grid-to-grid dimension for your floor plan. Okay. We're not gonna dimension any rooms right now. We're just gonna dimension the overall. So simply work on your linear. We're gonna click here. This is fine here, up to here, and then you can drag it up and down wherever you want. Okay. And then I think when you click this, you can dimension to the next one. No. Yeah. Um, my shortcuts again are not working correctly. So we're going to point here, and point here. Okay. Um, linear, point here, and then drag here. There you go. And then you want an overall. If this one is a problem, you can again click on that one and then move it past whatever conflict you have. Okay. So, and then do an overall. You can again click on here and clear, and then drag it up here. There's another conflict here, so you click on it and then you drag and do a nearest. There you go. All right. So make sure that all of these have dimensions. You're going to save them, and then we are going to put them together and package them with our section elevation. Okay.